How do you reckon the shift in dating reflects a change in our underlying values, given that so many view that using Tinder or different dating apps leads to this sort of use and throw away sort of mentality or society? So how are our values shifting now that we're in this new dating scene?
We have a very disposable love society, so to speak, where people are kind of they're ghosting each other. They're not really taking any chances on each other. They're not really making any choices. Like terms like situationships have risen, which is, if those who don't know, is that it's not a relationship where you're not really dating. You're having the relationship, the benefits of a relationship, but you're not really girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever. You haven't established the relationship.
No expectations of exclusivity and no long-term planning. You're just having the benefits of companionship and being together, like all the benefits without any of the commitments, basically.
Yeah, it's like having a weekend boyfriend or a weekend girlfriend, not having any of the commitments. It's not someone you can show off to your friends or your family and stuff. But dips into the disposable theme that we're into now. And I think we're way more afraid to commit because everyone has so many choices, and that kind of you're becoming scared of making the wrong choice. What if there's someone better out there? But it's even more worse not making any choice at all.
Yeah,
that's worse than okay, but I feel this about this person. Let's go. Let's try it out. What's the worst that could happen? Try, give love a chance. Millennials and Gen Z, because of the dating apps, I think we are one of the most rejected generations in history. That creates a more cold society, but it has become kind of a necessity to survive the dating scene. You're taking a chance on someone with your heart when you're matching with someone and starting that you're interested in, and you're starting to chat, and you're starting to maybe meet up and go on a couple of dates. You're kind of starting to it's creating emotions in you.
You're getting invested.
You're getting invested, and then all of a sudden they ghost you. They disappear. You're meeting them for 2 weeks and they just disappear from the face of the earth for no good reason. And you're racking through your brain why would they do this, and you're never gonna get a good answer. I think all of these things are creating like a disposable society for us. But I think it's out of necessity. I think we've done it because we're trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to protect our mental health. We're trying to protect our heart. And the consequence of that is the walls, the defense. People aren't willing to get invested because they're not willing to get hurt. But I think if you want true love, if you want a healthy relationship, the first thing you have to accept is that you might get hurt. It might not work out. You're never going to have a real relationship if you can't really invest yourself in it.
There needs to be commitment from both parties, and regardless of which relationship you're in, there's going to be tough times. And you can get through those tough times in most cases if you're willing to work for it, but then you need to be committed, and both needs to be committed.
Both needs to have made a choice, like this is what I want in good times and bad times. It's kind of when you feel that when you're dating in modern times as now, when you're feeling that you might feel committed, but the other person is kind of, the second you're hitting like rocky waters and stuff, they'll just throw you away. Yeah, because there's so many others out there.
Exactly.
They have so many more options.
It's definitely how it feels like looking at society today, that there are too many options leading people to be less committed, meaning that people will jump out of relationships much quicker, and then I guess in some cases never have real connection.
Yeah.
Or because a lot of people who've been together for a long time or maybe married across decades saying that as they move through struggles, the connection and the bond just gets thicker and deeper, and the relationships gets better over time. But if you're never willing to go through those struggles, you will never experience that real bond, because you never get there.
Exactly. And I think, and that's that's a part of being a human being. That's part of the human experience. Getting to know someone deeply, and getting your lives are being more and more intertwined.
Yeah.
And you have this notion of so there's me, there's them, and there's us.
Yeah.
And in order to build us, we both have to invest time and energy and love into it and commit ourselves to building this house. I remember there was a poem I heard some time ago which speaks to this. I don't remember the poem exactly, but it's something about when two people meet, then one person is a house, another person is a house, and each house looks different. One side is it looks beautiful and have clean floorboards and everything looks great. When another wall might not, might have some mold and it's not really perfect, but it's a house. That person is a house and that person is a house. But they all have flaws. They all have faults. And a healthy relationship is when these two people take the best components from their houses and build a third house that they're going to live in together. And they accept that they have these other bits and pieces that are not as great, but they're trying to build a house together with the best parts from each house.
I like that metaphor.
That is a healthy, it comes to dating as well. Like, how willing is this person to build something together with me? What is not, healthy is that if this person insists on having this person move into that house, leave all that out there, they want them into this house. They're not willing to, start building something together. If you find yourself in that kind of position where someone is trying to force you into their life, they're not really trying to
build a life together. Accepting that there are certain parts of yourself that are not optimal. Like you mentioned with some of the walls are not maybe that good. So you are willing to let go of those and to replace them with something that's not coming from you. And that, I would say...
learn from the other person. Maybe they have a better part that you can learn from, or they can learn from you. Building something together is learning from each other.
Absolutely. Growing together and realizing that you don't have all the answers. Everything is not perfect in my house.
It won't be perfect in that our house as well, but at least we're trying to do the best we can and growing together. And I think that's what everyone hopes for. It's kind of hard to start building that house if you never get the chance to meet or both commit.
Yeah.
And people don't want to commit in like the dating scene that is now. I don't think people necessarily have the motivation because they're having dating fatigue, or they're maybe not.
That's a good term.
Yeah, and I think they don't want to have they don't want to use their time or energy or resources on trying to find someone because they feel like they've tried. There's not hope. It's hopeless, and that's again why I wrote this book, because it might feel hopeless, and I get that. It is hard. It's harder now than ever. I totally get that. But it's not impossible. The whole point of the book is try to give people the motivation and inspiration to keep on swiping and keep on going on dates. I think everybody should strive to, find love. And even though it's harder, might feel harder at least, to find love these days, it's so worth it.
Yeah, most great things are worth striving for.
It is.
And I think, I want to just quickly circle back to something you mentioned earlier on this, let's call it this trinity of you, the other person, and the two of you together, like us, me, you, and us. And it seems to me that quite a lot of people are very much willing to work on themselves, like individually, but not working on the us part.
Yeah.
Because we're in a very individualistic society where there's a lot of self-actualization and a lot of focus on that, and less focus on the compromise and the us part. Yeah. If you strive to be worthy of something better than you're getting today, one of the best ways to attaining that is to work on yourself so that you actually become worthy. And then you typically do that through self-awareness, self-discovery, and self-development. So there's definitely, I would say, mostly positive things about it. In this society, we tend to think a lot about me,
Yeah.
in a lot of contexts, and that can lure us away from thinking about us.
But it's also due to, I think, the fact that society has given people so many more options. So you want to make sure that, you're making the best choices for yourself all the time. That could be quite a straining exercise, but I think that's where it comes from. And that kind of transfers into dating as well. Am I choosing the perfect partner now? Or is there someone better? Because you kind of
search for perfect.
Yeah, because you're improving yourself, and that's great. That would be not as beneficial for you in trying to find love, because you're trying to optimize the way you're dating, finding the perfect partner. When in the end, finding someone is all about what kind of chemistry am I having, and who am I when I'm with this person, and do I like the person that I am when I'm with them? That's kind of, I think, maybe one of the most important things to feel and ask yourselves.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, not see how is this person fitting into my optimized life.
If you're into self-development, it would definitely be beneficial if the person you meet is also into that. So
very much so.
Grow together at least.
Very much so. And if they're not, the willingness to learn is another key factor. That boils down to values, interests, who you are as a person, which also is very important when it comes to dating. So values are still very important today. But maybe we tend to forget it sometimes.
But that's also something that could be, potentially explicit in a dating app. Like, what are your values? And you could list them up. Like, what are the 5 key ones for you, or the 3 key ones, or something like that.
You can list your love languages.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One of them has that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's great. If you have dived into love languages and you know your own love language, that's great. I think that's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself in your path to love, so to speak, in your quest for love. Finding out what kind of love languages speaks to you. How are you showing love to other people? How do you want love to be shown to you?
Well, let's say it's Tinder that has this option of choosing love languages. Then it would be great to have one that goes both ways, or 2 options. So one is like, this is what I typically give. This is the love language that I give, and this is what I like to receive.
Don't sit home and read my book and just, okay, now I'm ready. Read a little bit about the book or someone else's, and then
start the feedback loop.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
If you appreciated that, then click here for more content like this. Go on, click it. And don't forget to subscribe. Be well.